Transervice has flourished and retained customers for multiple decades. How? By making our word our bond and delivering the most responsive service and transparent financial details to give our clients the best all-around value in the industry. By not providing cookie-cutter, one-size-fits-all, off-the-shelf solutions. Instead, crafting tailored, customer-centric solutions for each client's individualized business model and needs. By empowering highly ethical, dedicated associates to build true partnerships and mutually beneficial relationships with our accounts. And by cultivating long-term, loyal customers and vendors through each and every one of these guiding principles, and maintaining those relationships with transparent, quality operations. That's why Transervice has been successful for 50 years, and that's how we'll continue to grow and flourish long into the future. Let us show you why many of our clients have been with us for over 20 years. It's all about the experience, yours and ours.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on live tonight here at Michigan International Speedway for the Transervice SIM500 Cup Series. And man, it's going to be a good one. Last week, we had road course action at Watkins Glen, and that was a wild one there. But tonight, we got these cup cars going to blast this huge 2-mile track here in Michigan. Well, as always, Joe White up here in the booth. Cutting about old Gail Brooks. Gail, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Joe. How about you?
And doing pretty good, I tell you. It's going to be exciting here as qualifying's underway. And looks like Anthony DeBarro, that man, whew, he knows how to get around these tracks.
Yeah, and he's going to be one of those ones to watch. I mean, obviously there's going to be a lot of guys to kind of keep an eye on tonight. But yeah, he's always one to look out for. He's been running up front a lot lately. So I think he's ready to kind of get that thing in the victory lane.
Absolutely. Got one victory, man, so far this season here. Want to appreciate everybody tuning in. As we're live tonight, Online Sim Racing Network at OSR Network on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook there, and check out SIM500 and Transervice Logistics and a lot of their other, man, all-time sponsors here. And I tell you, Gail, you got some good news, man, about tonight's race and some points things we're going to keep interested in.
Yes, so tonight is actually the last race before the 3-race playoff for the English Auto Dash for Cash Series segment, I should say. And so basically there's 8 drivers that are going for the top 4 after this race here tonight. And so leading the standings is Mitch Rollo, who's actually not going to make it tonight, so that could open up an opening spot there. Followed by Daniel Fockingham, Chad Cole, David Comstock, Anthony DeBarro, Nicholas Cohen, and Tommy Ryan. I know for sure that Rollo and Cohen are not here tonight, so definitely shake things up tonight. And just what's as crazy as this race probably is going to wind up being, there could be a lot of shakeups with who winds up in the final 4 to have that chance for the cash. Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, we're going to grid these bad boys up here tonight. Michigan style here, because the man on pole, Anthony DeBarro, puts it out front. Daniel Fockingham, he had a good run at Watkins Glen last week, starts in second. Third place man Sean Bounty. Doug Ross going to sit in fourth. Fifth place starter Bobby Wetzel. David Comstock right there had another good run at Watkins. He's going to start sixth tonight. Seventh place there Nigel Standis, I said the last name right there. Seventh place starter Doey Wood sitting in eighth. Nelson Rivera right there starting at ninth, and Justin Fuller rounds the top 10s. We'll look to the rest of this field here, Gail. Man, it's a who's who here at the SIM500. I've said it many times. There's some talent sitting on this field.
Yeah, no, these guys are definitely ones to be reckoned with. I'm able to run with these guys every so often, not too often lately anymore, but yeah, even when I do have a chance, it's a challenge just to even get in the top 10 with these guys. So they're going to have to be up on the wheel tonight. Obviously, with the draft package that these things have, they're going to be all over each other, probably full tilts for about 2-3 laps. Then what the drivers are telling me, especially with the track temp being up to 118, it starts to get really snappy loose, especially in 3 and 4. So I think you're going to see some drivers with their hand full tonight.
And I definitely, man, would agree with you on that one. You know, Michigan has always been a fast track, and the one thing that we're going to see different here tonight than what we've seen in the past, and you just mentioned it with the draft package like it is the speeds. Speeds are not what they are. but still, it's kind of is the same for the drivers out there. We'll notice they used to get 206 mile an hour on the front stretch of this place. Now they're maybe rocking around 193, 194 or so, but they still say it feels like they're running 200 mile an hour on the straights and going into the turns. It's just the way these cars are handling.
Yeah, so even though the top mile an hour may not be there, I think just the fact that these things can hold so much speed through the turns, I think that's what really makes that sense of speed difference. Whereas with the older style, you'd have to get off the gas and slow down a ton. These things, you just throw them in there and just pretty much go full tilt. And for the most part, they'll usually stick until you step over that line. And then it usually ends in tears.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I think, if you watch this last pass race, the real NASCAR one here, and watched a lot of those guys and what they were doing, you'll see that a lot of them were pretty much on the throttle most of the time through this thing. They cracked it a little bit in the turns if you saw the telemetry, and we're going to see that tonight. I think a lot of it, they can hold it wide open for a while, and like you alluded to, after a while, though, it's going to get a little slick. I mean, we'll just have to see how the race plays out.
Yeah, saying like you said, fuel mileage could come into play like it did in the Cup race on Sunday. Like Joey Logano had a really good chance to win, but he just didn't have the fuel numbers because he was leading and going flat foot. So you might see that. Someone might just be kind of pacing behind somebody to save some fuel, but say we'll find out in 100 laps.
No doubt about it. 100 laps tonight. Pace cars out of turn 4. We're getting set to go. Green flag racing. Michigan style. Big track, big speed, big power. I call them the monster machines out here. There's some bad, fast cars on some bad, fast track. About to do some awful bad, fast things here as the green flag flies. We're racing.
So a pretty clean start there. So DeBarro's able to get a little bit of a lead there. And say right as soon as he gets some chance, Hawkham's going to make sure that he doesn't get pinned up top. He's going to try to get a nice angle into 1 and 2, it looks like here.
Absolutely, and Anthony's definitely going to get out there. Everybody right now is going to try to get what they can get early on. You're going to see 2x2 racing, but I'm like you. I think they're going to try to get single files. You're going to pass for the lead up front. Here comes Daniel.
Yeah, this is where you'll definitely. It's almost going to be like a play race. You're going to want to get some help. Like right now, with the tires being new and everything, I think things will be all right. You just got to kind of be careful because it gets really close. I say it looked like the 9 Bobby Wetzel got really loose up for able to hang on to it. And at the line there, I think DeBarro's able to just keep the lead there by 2/1000ths of a second there at the start-finish line.
Well, these restarts are going to be crazy. You can already see it right now. Well, we got 3 wide racing going on in the back. You got a battle for the lead up front. Looks like Daniel's got it for the moment, but you go back here to about the middle of the pack, and these guys are not they're kind of leaving it all on the table right now, which is what you got to do early on, as you just see Anthony takes back over the top spot.
Yeah, that's a pretty aggressive move there. It looked like he just had his nose clear. Probably spotter told him he was good to go, and he kind of cut that line there immediately. Didn't want to give the opportunity for Daniel to sneak in there. I'll say, so now you're going to have Sean Bounty and Daniel Buckingham here fighting for that second spot.
Yeah, no doubt. Sean, man, looking super strong on the high side. Doug Roth right there, 243 machine. I always love it. Got him the king out here. He's always rocked those STP paint jobs for as long as I've known, and he's looking good tonight, starting in fourth. Dave Comstock right there behind him. Just to kind of see, man, you said in practice that,
there
we're
it
going to
goes.
crash.
He's hanging on to. Oh no, he's coming across the field. This is going to be a big one.
Well, I thought he had held on to it there for the moment, but nope.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looked like Sean Bounty got loose in 3 and 4, and collected a handful of cars there. He almost had it caught, and it just kind of looked like it snapped back to the right on him. I'll say I'll let you pull up the replay. We can take a look.
Yeah, let's go back and watch. It actually happened. Up front, he was running up front there, and I was about to say it right there. We talked about in practice, his car's getting loose after a while, and yeah, that thing just walked out from under him, and he almost had it, but it came back up the track, like you said, collected a few other machines in the process.
I'm trying to take a look at what he caught
scattered
there. Looks like, unfortunately, the 16 of Steve Ritter was one, as well as Scott Stenzel in the 24. I'm trying to catch who else. I say, you guys took
Scott
a base
Smiley. I call him Smiley simply, but yeah.
Yeah, say, oof, Chad Cole in the 82 did some serious off-roading there to get through. Barely missed the tire barriers in the pit exit, or pit entry, I should say.
Let's ride along here with old Scott. See, man, his, yeah, he just saw a car come up, and he just actually lost it. Probably tried to lock it up a little bit, went through the grass. Don't look like he hit anything. Good on Scott's part there, so Scott might be all right.
Yeah, saying we got pit stops going on. Looks like pretty much all the leaders are in there. There are a couple that are staying out here. Looks like, I'm trying to take a look who stayed out there. Joey Jatina as well as Jose Gonzalez. I'm not sure if they might come in on the one to go, but I say those two did stay out that time by. Yeah, there's definitely some hurt cars now, though.
And I'll tell you what, Doug Roth is going to lose a lot of time. He had to back up in his pits there. Just saw that, so wow.
Yeah,
what a caution for the first time, man! I tell you.
Yeah, I'm going through the pits right now, just kind of seeing who's got what right now. And yeah, I see Chris Jabot's got some left front damage. Randy Yoakum's car's the whole front end's missing, unfortunately. Dwayne Vincent got some right front. Steve Ritter, obviously I mentioned, has some pretty good nose damage. Jeff Sharp's got nose damage. I think there was one also. I think he may have driven through the pits there. It's a very nice kind of cycle up front. Yeah, Scott Stenzel you mentioned. Yeah, he's pretty hurt as well. So definitely took out some good cars to say. I think some of those guys were kind of planning on trying to hang out towards the back and then make their way up towards. Just kind of let the craziness happen and then go after it. But unfortunately, they got caught up in it just because it happened in front and nowhere for them to go.
Well, got anybody you want to speak with, man, on the track here or anything?
It says, take a look. I'll make sure I'm not going to go one to go here. I don't want to throw anything on the last minute.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Let's see if we stay. Yep, lights are off. Yep. Oh, lights are back on. Let's grab the 82 of Chad Cole. He had a moment there going through the grass and almost hitting that pit entry tire barrier. He might have some interesting insight on that one.
All right, we'll bring up old Chad Cole right here. He's kind of marred back in traffic right now, but hey, bring him up here. Bird in with Chad Cole. Joe White and Boots, got a copy?
We got you.
Man, tell you what, Gail said you went through the grass there, avoided all that contact out there. Kind of a little hairy for you back there. What do you think?
Yeah, we saw it happening, and I wish I did a better job slowing down. And I made the right move going through the grass, but I ended up with a little damage from it with the latest iRacing build and what I think might have been a couple builds ago that they started adding damage if you go through the grass. So we got about 20 seconds. We got that fixed, but buried in 27th right now, so just gonna have to be patient. On a whole lot of race left right now, and see how it shakes out.
I tell you what, Jay, you definitely, I know, week in and week out, you got fast machines. Now, right now you're in the back, but like you said, you got plenty of time, and maybe what's the game plan to get back up front? Like I said, just be patient.
Yeah, just be patient. I think we're going to have a whole lot more wrecks coming on. It's a very challenging setup here at Michigan. It was the same way in the June race, too, and not sure what iRacing's doing. They got this thing so loose, but I anticipate some guys working some fuel strategy to try to tighten it up a little bit, and we'll see how it plays out, though.
All right, well, good luck out there, Chad.
Thank you.
And let's get him back down there. I do believe he was down there, yep, with Jose and him.
Yeah, and he mentioned something interesting there about the fuel strategy. So a lot of times with these cars, you actually want to pretty much pack them with fuel to kind of keep them looser. So what they may do is actually kind of run them, if they can, a little bit lighter on fuel to tighten that car up. So kind of an opposite strategy of what you would be normally used to with the Cup car. So I think that's what he was referring to. So that'll be curious to see if we see maybe some, like I said, a fuel mileage game, but in a different sense of it, where you might take less than you might.
Kind of wild there, Gail. I mean, I would think physics-wise it'd be the opposite. You fill it up, it'd be tight because it'd be, loaded down, and less fuel would be loose. But hey, sometimes, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, so I know that these cars, you can never tell with them. So I think if I remember right, I don't know enough about it. I'm not smart enough for it, but I think what they said was basically all the fuel in the back of the car kind of gets the spoiler out of the air, so as it starts to kind of lose the weight from the back, puts the spoiler up in the air a little bit, get a little bit more drag, a little more downforce. So we'll see if anybody plays the fuel strategy games on taking less fuel instead of more.
There you go. Well, lights off on the pace car. Here we go. Glenn Campbell stayed out. Top 3 guys did right now. I was going to see if that's going to pay off for him here. Joey Katina, Jose Gonzalez. Pace cars in. Green flag flies. We're back racing.
Yeah, it's a really good start there for Glenn. Looks like Jose's going to be able to follow through as well. So now Joey's going to kind of be pinned up top here. We'll see if he's able to maybe get a little bit of help from Joey Woods there behind him. Yeah, it looks like Daniel Faulkner as well is able to clear by. So he may just want to try to get up front and get away from some of the craziness, but I think now looks like he's just going to kind of roll back just to stay out of it. Oh, it looks like Glenn Campbell may have gotten loose and off of 2 there, and he's running on the apron right now.
I saw that there just a little bit. Daniel's going to battle Jose up here. Always comes Speedy Gonzalez. Definitely got a fast machine. Here comes Anthony DeBarro, those newer style tires, and he can do this almost trying to thread the needle 3 wide to the line.
Yeah, it's a dangerous spot right now where they're all in right now. So they got to remember there's still a long ways to go here. So you got Justin Fuller right now pushing for the lead here, entering 1. Yeah, saw a little twitch off Daniel. I think he's going to clear him here.
Man, I'm going to tell you what, though. I got to give hats off to Anthony right there, man. That move he did, normally any time else, that probably would have ended up in a wreck. He was close right there on the back bumpers, but, man, outstanding driving job and car control.
Yeah, so these guys I'm flinching just watching these. Oh, got some people spinning off the floor there. I don't know if it's going to break out of yellow, though.
Let's see if we can catch it. Find out what the number was.
It's like Shane Ewing may have been one of them in the 32. I thought I saw another one go around as well. I'm trying to take a look here.
Let me go back here on Shane Ewing. They were 3 wide coming out of turn 4 back there. Oh, yeah, Shane just lost it coming out. It actually looks like it's just Shane, and he actually gathered it back up and came on down on pit road. But that car just stepped out from under him. I'm going to tell you, Gail, I think that's going to be the theme of the night. These things are going to step out from under them. Just unexpected.
Yeah, I think a big battle right now for the lead. You've got DeBarro up top of Fuller, but Buckingham's pushing Fuller right now, entering 1. So these guys are, I'll say, as loose as this thing has been, these guys are still wheeling and just going as hard as they can right now.
Got to out here to get everything you can on newer style tires, because I got a feeling the longer the run goes, as loose as these cars are going to get in the rear and the way that they're handling, they're going to need every advantage they can get. And what we were saying before, the caution I started bringing up as we talked about during the actual
we got
81.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I tell you, as soon as I'm trying to get something out, these guys out here making it exciting. But what I was basically alluding to, what you were talking about, is that the inside lane getting loose as it goes on. We just saw the 81 there, Adam Gillian. Well, that was a good driving job.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's a really talented driver. He's got 6 wins already in the series, but I mean that's some quick hands. They hang on to that thing. So hats off to him. I don't know how he hung on to that thing.
And maybe what he's doing is testing the water of what this thing will and will not do. And, because he shot up through there pretty good in that turn, and just to kind of see the limits. And in racing, you've got to do that. You've got to take the limits and just see how far you can push the car. And he evidently did right there. Now he knows next time, well, maybe that's a little bit too much.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be a note to self to not do that one again. So I'm sure that one caught his attention. I think, I just think you have to be really smooth on the wheel here. And like you said, I think if you are on the inside of somebody trying to make a pass, I think you're kind of at their mercy. So like right now with Justin Fuller going inside of DeBarro, he's going to have to turn that wheel just that little bit harder. And I think that's where the risk is.
Right now, but I tell you what, look at Jose Gonzalez, the man on the older set of tires. He's hanging on pretty good in 3rd.
Yeah, it was interesting, actually. I noticed he actually started from the pits, so he wanted to stay away from all of that craziness, wait for the early yellow or yellows to happen. He decided to stay out there, and he's like, well, you know what, I'm going to go for it. So, I mean, he's only got a few laps older tires, but of the ones who stayed out, he's definitely held on really well right now.
So far, he has side-by-side racing as they head off down the back stretch. Anthony's got the lead. Right behind him, Justin Fuller falls in line, but it's Daniel Faulkingham, some contact trading paints. They head off into turn 3.
Yeah, so you got right now about the top 14 are all still right together. Oh, there goes Fuller. Got really loose. Another really good save. These guys are, like I said, they have their hands full. They're doing a really good job of it. But yeah, I was going to say, we have two kind of big packs right now. All the top 14 are about within the second or 2 seconds of the lead. And the second group from 15th on back is about 4 seconds off of the lead right now. So kind of got split up into two packs right now, almost like you've seen in the plate races.
Yeah. You know, Chad Cole was just talking to there. He's up to 16th, so he's moved up a couple places there. Nick Tim's back in the mix there. Doug Roth, who had that mishap on pit road back in 21st, he was started up front, had a good start here. A lot of good names back there. E.J. O'Rourke, Jason Barron back here. You know, just right off the top of my head. You know, Sean Bounty, which unfortunately caught up in that wreck. So a lot of good drivers, man, marred back in traffic.
Yeah, so Adam Gillen's recovered now. He's back up to second now after his little, not excursion, but that handful of that really big slide he had a few laps ago. He got back on there. So he's up to second. I was saying DeBarro's actually got a bigger lead than I expected to see anybody have in this race. But I think that draft's going to bring those guys right back up to him in a few laps here.
Man, I'll tell you right now, really good run. A lot of these guys are just basically hanging on for dear life. As I look at Nelson Riviera. I always saw Rivera for some reason, but Riviera, and the man right there, he's hanging on to 5th place. He actually started 9th. He's moving up through the field.
Yeah, there's some good movers already. Obviously, Adam Gillen's one, starting 18th and up to second now. I say we were joking earlier with Joey. He's joking he didn't want to be talked about if he was in the back. He started 25th and he's up to 13th, right along also with Jimmy North, starting 26th and is in 12th, and then Mike Montezi 28th to 14th. So those guys have made really good gains so far in this race early on.
So far, so good. Out front, Anthony DeBarro's hanging down the line there with Adam Gillian in tow. Top 3 single file. You got to go behind them. With Nelson there, with Jose, Nick Silver, they're all side by side. I got a feeling the more this goes green flag, the more you're going to see these guys get single file because, again, we talked about it. These guys, man, on the inside there, that inside lane, we've already seen it been very, very slick.
Yeah, so it looks like there's a little bit of give and take going on, too. Right there, Adam Gillen got a really good run entering 1 on DeBarro. DeBarro just kind of didn't really fight him. It looks like he's going to try to return the favor here entering 3. We'll see if he's able to. He's not going to be able to clear it. It's really loose. Oh, my goodness.
That's
another really good save.
Man, I tell you, man, these guys are just putting it all on the line right now, having some good side-by-side racing as Adam Gillian takes the lead right now, along with Daniel Falkingham in second, Anthony DeBarro there in third, and Nelson Riviera sitting up in 4th place. And he's moving along pretty good, so wow. And, you know, it's kind of interesting, which, I mean, it really doesn't mean a lot in iRacing, but it's good to see a mix of the manufacturers, you know, Chevy, Toyota, Ford, all up front running the top 4.
Yeah, so you get the whole mix of them all right there, 2 Chevys, a Toyota, and 2 Fords right behind there. So, and so you got Nigel Standish in the 09 running in 9th place as well. So they're out there. Got a pretty good mix of them, everybody, right now.
Yeah, the biggest thing we hadn't really talked about, we've talked about these guys sliding all over the place tonight, being very, very loose. This track in particular is more of a momentum style track, and I think as this thing gets slicker, the best way, and we even saw it in the real races past one, is coming off the turn. If you lose that momentum and have to crack throttle or get tight or something, that's when the guy behind you can really pounce and take the lead from you. And I think you're going to see that's where a lot of the passes will happen as the tires wear on because, you know, it's going to be harder to pass on the inside. It's where these guys might just lose that momentum.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I mean, that's kind of what happened to DeBarro. He got a little bit loose off of 4, had to kind of chase it down, and that was where Daniel Falkingham got by. And I say they're fighting really hard right now for that second position. And say it looks like DeBarro's going to try to make the top side work here. And like I said, maybe try to pinch Adam down where it makes it hard for him to kind of put the power down. Fuller got loose again off of 2, hung on to it this time, or hung on to it again, I should say.
Let's go back on replay and watch that.
Wow, man.
Wow.
I don't know how these guys are doing that.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's some driving. Let's see. I noticed Jose was there. I think Jose gave him just a little bit of love tap on the back, but I tell you, Justin was there. And, you know, that looked like more of Justin had to crack the throttle. Jose had to run. That's where I was saying that momentum, you know, kind of carried him through it.
Yeah. So I've been kind of watching the 81 right now up front of Adam Gillen, just watching him on the exit. It just looks so twitchy. Like he'll kind of be rotating, and you can kind of see the back try to step out, and he's just kind of wheeling it. Like you can really see their hands working. It's pretty impressive that he's able to hang on to this thing right now.
Well, so far he's been pretty good out front. Anthony right there in second behind him. Daniel Falkenham right there sitting in third. Nelson up into the fourth place spot. And that's probably what he wants too. Adam and all these guys up here in the single file, they can get up here and kind of race their own race. Get out front, kind of get away from traffic a little bit. You'd have to go back here to David Comstock, who just passed Nick Silver for the fifth place spot. So the top 6 guys right now are pulling away.
Yeah, I'll say that that little moment you were talking about between Jose and Justin Fuller, I think that really split up that pack right there. Because like I said, it was that top 14 or so. They've kind of split up, and they're kind of now falling into the clutches of the Sean Castro in 15th and Chad Cole in 16th. They're kind of finding their way, kind of working their way up there through those guys now.
Whew, Nigel right there came out of the turn 4 there, and that thing almost stepped out from under him.
I'm having a hard time keeping up who to watch because there's so much going on with these guys. So they look like they're almost right there, looking at 3 wide on entry there between the second, third, and fourth. Kind of didn't stay that way, but yeah, they're even with the cleaner up front. I'm watching Adam's hands, and he's having to wheel it, like just having so little input to make sure he doesn't do too much to get it really loose on him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, so much driving. You just see Adam, like you just said, you just saw Anthony right there get a little bit wiggly coming out of turn. We are 19, 20 laps into the run, and at this point, this is where you're going to start seeing these guys, start having, tire wear is going to come into play.
Yeah, no, definitely the tire wear is going to start coming in here. And this is also where you're going to have kind of those comers and goers, and that's just a whole other can of worms. It's like, okay, I'm going to try to pass this guy, get to the bottom where maybe you haven't run earlier in the race, and just, again, it just wants to snap on you potentially. So they just have to really kind of walk on eggshells, really trying to pass these guys, be real careful.
I'm watching, like you said, I'm watching the inside riding along here with Anthony Navarro, and you just saw, man, right there, Adam just got a little bit wiggly coming out of turn 4. It's opened the door for Anthony going inside, but it takes me back to the real, Michigan style race. They showed a lot of those drivers kind of working that wheel pretty good, and I saw what you're seeing, kind of sawing it a little bit coming out of the turns, hanging on to that thing.
Oh my goodness, I can't help but keep watching Adam Gillen. I don't know how he's hanging on to it. And yeah, I mean, like you said, in the Cup race on Sunday, it was a similar deal. Like, you'd see them, they'd be in the gas, and they realize, I'm not going to be able to make it. And they'd get off the gas completely and lose 10, 15 miles an hour. Oh, my goodness.
That was close. We was riding on the top side with David. David had a full front view mirror of that right there, and then that'll definitely wake you up as a driver if you're behind them. But I'm with you right now. Adam's car is a handful.
Yeah. I was saying, looks like we got some pit strategy going on here with Jose Gonzalez and Bobby Wetzel. They both just came in right now. So this might be, like you talked about, some different pit strategies here. I don't know if they're going to, I would assume they'll take 4 tires because 2 is just going to make it even looser. Potential fuel only or left side tires to tighten it up. I'm not sure.
But if you remember correctly, Jose was out there he was out there about 5 laps more, so it puts him around about 28 laps. That's something we haven't really talked about. How long can these guys go on fuel and tires?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I've been so just worried about just how close these things are racing and how much of a handful they were. I didn't think about green flag pit stops. Oh man, I just saw Daniel Foggingham get a really big handful off of 2 there. He's able to hang on to it as well. Nick Silver's going to sneak on by there though for I believe the 5th position.
We're going to replay and watch it again here. They've been out there for 23 laps. I don't think fuel's probably going to be the major issue. I think the tires are going to be, as you just saw, like you just said, just saw Daniel just kind of slip. I think the tires are what's going to probably be the deciding factor of, hey, I'm coming into the pits.
Yeah, and I just saw the 09. I think Nigel Stanish just had I didn't mean to pit, but I'm pitting. Because I think just got super loose off 4 and got it down into the pits. I'm not sure if he made the pit speed limiter for the cone for the speed or not. But they did a really good job though not to actually wreck that car. And I mean, if he got in there clean without a pit penalty, that's actually a really good pit entry there.
Let's watch and see. We'll watch his pit stop. Yeah, he's off. Must have got it. Let's go back on the replay here and let's see what you saw. For the viewers out there, let them see it. Everybody loves seeing exciting stuff. And watch him come into the pit road here. He's coming off turn. Yeah, this looks like he lost it coming out of turn 4. And you're right. Wow, that he just barely got that thing down to speed.
Yeah, I say it's one of those like that's a really good pit entry. Didn't mean to do it that way, but hey, if it works,
it's one way to make up some time.
Oh man, still a really good fight for the lead here. You got David Comstock, Adam Gilland, and Anthony DeBarro all right on top of each other here, all going after the lead. And like you said, it's all about the momentum right now.
I tell you,
a little bit.
I tell you what, Gail, and what's amazing to me is what we've seen Adam right now. He's battling with that car being loose like it is, and still up here, man, battling with these guys.
Yeah, no, he's been willing it, but yeah, so he's been able to hang on to it and keep going. So I'm trying to take a look to see if anybody. Oh, I was saying now you talk about he's going for the lead again right now.
Wow, and he's on that inside. Going to see if that car will hold. See it push up the track just a little bit there. I mean, you can see him wheeling it and be loose. But man, that thing's bad fast.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job. And the line he took was really good. He kind of had a really late apex basically in 3 and 4 where he could then kind of open up the wheel on the exit so he didn't have to keep it cranked as hard as he does right there.
I'd have done wreck. That's all I'm going to say.
You and me both.
I'd have done been in the wall. As much as we've seen him saw the wheel and hold on to that machine all night long, he's done an outstanding job there. Adam Gillian still battling, but some guys, they like looser cars. Some guys like a little tighter. Right now, though, Anthony DeBarro's not giving an inch.
Yeah, no, this has been a really good fight for the lead. They've been going after it pretty hard here. Really clean, but yeah, really hard racing. And yeah, as loose as Adam has been, I'm amazed he's willing to try to run the bottom there just because of, like we said, just you can't get that full exit you need. Absolutely.
Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight here. We're live at Michigan for the Transervice Cup Series here presented by SIM500 tonight. Very good, outstanding race so far. And, these guys out here doing what they need to do. 28 laps in that they've been out here, so we were talking pit stops. A lot of guys have made them, some haven't. Got to see with the leaders, how far can they go?
Yeah, I'm looking at the two that stayed out earlier, Joey Jatina and Glenn Campbell. They're on 33, 34 laps right now, so looks like they're still hanging on to it. As I say that, Adam Gillen takes the lead right there on exit of 2. We'll see if DeBarro's going to try to return the favor in inning 3 or if he's just kind of trying to hold station at this point. And then also it's going to be interesting is new tires versus old. As I'm looking entering 3 right now, it's close.
Well, you can see Jose right there. He's got new tires, so just look at the speed
Jose and
difference.
Nigel Standish, yeah, they both just pitted for tires about 5 laps ago. And yeah, so you made the point about tires are going to mean a lot right now, and they are. I mean, they're putting down some really fast laps right now.
Absolutely right there, though. Adam Gillian has not given up, and he has just got a super loose machine out there. He's kind of slick right now. Anthony DeBarro. Well, Gail, what are we looking like on that English auto points right now? Who's our top runner?
So of the Dash for Cash drivers right now, so I'm going to take a look here. I believe it's going to be Anthony DeBarro, I think. Yeah, right now Anthony DeBarro, I think, is the highest runner, and he was 5th going into this. So I'd say he's in a good position where he's at right now. As I said, Nigel Standish and Jose Gonzalez right now looking like going to go 3 wide here to get their laps back. You have to be careful there.
And these leaders might have to think about soon here coming into the pits. You don't want to give up too much time. They're still running 40.5s, but just to kind of give you an idea, 39 is what Jason Barham put down the last time. So giving up a good solid second, sometimes almost second and a half.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see with this short pit if that makes a big difference there. But yeah, so no, going back to the Dash for Cash, apologize, got distracted there. Yeah, Anthony DeBarro, David Comstock, they are both in the running for it. And then I'm trying to see who else is where on that
right now.
group. So right now the top 8 are Mitch Rollo, Daniel Fockingham, and then Chad Cole, David Comstock, and then 5th on back is Anthony DeBarro, Nick Silver, Nick Cohan, and then Tommy Ryan are the top 8.
The biggest thing we got to think about is obviously Mitch Rollo missing tonight, last week's winner at Watkins Glen. But by missing tonight, I know you mentioned something about the difference between first and second. What's the points difference?
So right now, Mitch Rollo's, it's actually just a 1-point difference between him and Daniel Fockingham, but the key is from first to fourth is an 18-point difference.
Wow.
So, I mean, depending on if one of these guys doesn't have a very good race timing, there's still a long ways to go. It could definitely shake things up. So I know Nick Cohan isn't here tonight as well. So yeah, so, I mean, there's still a definite possibility that he could sneak in that 4th position.
And here's the thing, you know, as big as fields as we have, we started with 39 drivers. Right now we got 37 still running. 2 of them out, unfortunately, Steve Ritter and Dwayne Vincent right now out of the race. But you just mentioned it. If Daniel and these guys, man, continue running like they are, if it finishes the way it is, Mitch Rollo is going to be in a hole on that one.
Yeah, saying unfortunate, but I say sometimes, let's say you got real life commitments or just things that you like doing. Like I think Nick's on vacation right now in California with his girlfriend, so I'm sure he's having a great time.
Hope you're watching, Nick. Man, there you go.
Yeah, so I'm sure he's missing the race, but at the same time, I'm sure he's rooting on his teammate Anthony DeBarro, hoping that he can get a good result there for their team. So, but yeah, I mean, we talk about the tires wearing and everything. They're starting to spread out a little bit. Say Adam's able to kind of get that little bit of a gap. Looks like actually DeBarro's about to pit right here.
So he's coming in with 34 laps in. So I think we're going to see the leaders here probably next time. That might be a smart move by Anthony there. I got a feeling Adam's probably going to come the next time in.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. What lap are we on? Lap 40. Oh, you know what? No, that's not. That's too many laps still. All right, sorry. I was going to say, I wonder if they could make it from here from here, but I think that regardless, I think there's going to be one more stop. So I'm looking at Glenn Campbell and Joey Chatina. They're sitting on about 40 laps right now. But it might be just that short pit strategy. See if they can get that lead back.
You'd have to go 51 laps at least to make it. And obviously, you know, a green-white checker could throw into there, but you know, I wouldn't gamble it. Man, Adam comes in hot right there. He gets it slowed down, but yeah, Adam didn't want to stay out too many more laps, giving up that kind of speed to Anthony. But now you pointed to something out right there. Yeah, I think 2 stops is going to be the deal. Now, granted, no cautions or anything like that, but 35, 36 laps. We're seeing some guys go 40, so we know they can stretch it to 40, 41 laps. They can go that long. So even though we might think, you know, they go, let's say, to lap 70, that's only 30 laps in.
Yes, and that's what I want to see is, who stays out the longest on tires. I'll say right now, of course, it's Glenn and Joey since they haven't pitted since the start. So they're on the 40-41 right now. What I'm also curious to see is where Nigel Standish is going to come out in relation to these guys, because he's short pitted. And actually, as I say that, he got out right now, just got by the 81 of Adam Gillens. And then where is... Say, I'm trying to find the other leader. I'm blanking on names right now. Anthony DeBarro. Did he have a pit issue?
He is right there behind Adam. He actually had a pretty quick pit stop. He had a 13.8 pit stop. So he had a but I tell you, let's look at Adam. Wow, Adam was able to get out in front of him though.
Yeah, so Adam just must have really had a really good pit entry there. And I mean, they talk about that, those entry exit laps, those are really critical. So that's a really good job by him there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the time, and the full, and see, sometimes, man, the numbers just don't make sense, but full lap time in, pit, and off was a 39.1 for Adam. Anthony, though, had a 38.8, so he had a quicker time, but you know, Anthony was able to run him down and get by him.
Yeah, I'll have to see how that all shakes out. So you still got a few guys on. I'm trying to see now who's. I'm trying to let everything cycle out, so I'm not sure who's where right now. Yeah.
Jonathan Lockhart has yet to pit. Shane Ewing yet to pit. Scott Stencil obviously got caught up in there. John Wilco. Looks like that's the ones who have yet to pit right now. EJ O'Rourke's taking over the lead, but I think he's just out there trying to make some laps.
Yeah, so yeah, you're right. Sean Castle's in the pits right now, and that leaves, EJ is the next one up, and then after that, looks like it's pretty much then cycled to those that have stopped. However, they're all in very different age of tires. Like, so right now, Adams, I think, on some of the freshest tires of the top 5, hitting that lap after DeBarro. But yeah, like I said, Nigel Standish and Jose Gonzalez, they pitted about 10 laps before those guys, so while they have the track position, they're going to probably be hoping for a caution at this point, just because of they just won't have the pace that these fresh tires do right now.
Yeah, and the biggest thing with the green flag stops, folks, that we always know about, you know and I know, it spreads the field out so much here, and that's why right now, yes, the lap times are pretty close, but they're going to be spread out amongst the field, and that's just what green flag stops do.
Yeah, it really has, actually. I mean, so I'm going to let this one cycle through right now, but I mean, the top 10 right now, it looks like it's about 6 seconds of a difference, whereas before we had the top 14, I think it was, within 2 seconds, I want to say. So, yeah, the field's really spread out here. A lot of different pit strategies with the drivers. I'm kind of looking, there's a few drivers I'm wondering if they're going to try to stretch it. Say Jonathan Lockhart, EJ O'Rourke, and then Shane Ewing. I say they've all kind of didn't have the starts of the races they've been hoping for, so I wonder if they're going to try to stay it as long as they possibly can, and then maybe if they can just one stop it.
EJ's going through the grass. He almost lost it there. EJ, I think, got a little damage on that incident earlier on, so he's got some damage to that car, but he might be out of gas. No?
Yeah, it sounds like he's up to speed. I think just,
He actually, he went down through there and got way sideways. I think he's coming into the pits. No? Yeah. I was going to say, maybe not, but yeah. No? Wow.
Yeah, I wonder if at this point it's like, you know what, I'm just going to stay it until I've had those nights where it's just like, it's not going your way, so it's like, you know what, I'm just going to stay it until I have to, absolutely have to pit. I'm going to run out of fuel, and then maybe I'll get that timely yellow and stay on the lead lap.
Well, it does tell us something, though, Gail. It does tell us how long these guys can go out here. A lot of times we sit and we watch green flag stops and we watch pit stops, but, sometimes these guys, they got different pit strategies that can go a lot longer. So we do know that they can go 43 laps, because it looks like Jonathan Lockhart finally is going to come into pit road. And, so that tells us right there that, hey, they could take this thing to 15 to go, 20 to go, come in, and, if they trusted their tires enough, but I wouldn't trust them. I'd definitely, the tire wear is, that's just a lot.
Yeah, I'm thinking this will be one of those kind of split the last run in half type of deal. Like probably pit around lap, I'd say 70 or so, somewhere in that range, and try to maximize your tires. Because they're gonna have to do something right now. Because after that pit stop sequence, Adams just put a gap on him. He's got 2 seconds over DeBarro, and it's about another second back to Comstock. So maybe if they can work together and try to run him down. But right now, he put 2/10 that last lap on DeBarro, so he's picking him up and putting him down right now.
I'll tell you what, well, folks, man, we're live here at Michigan International Speedway. Obviously a 2-mile track, 4 turns, 79 degrees, man, out here. I'm showing 120-degree track temp. Well, that is some hot track out there right now. And here's where you were talking about the fuel earlier on, and here's where sometimes kind of that physics science thing gets in. I don't understand it a lot, but I would associate a hot track with being slick, but a lot of guys say it might be tight. But maybe what we're seeing is a tight, loose style feeling out here.
That's actually a really good point. Yeah, it could just be one of those pushing loose type things where you just have so much wheel into it, and then when you get to that center and exit, that's when it just wants to snap on you. And of course, when you try to get onto the throttle like that. And that'll be, the fuel thing is definitely a good point where do drivers consider, okay, I'm going to run this one and then instead of filling it up, I'm just going to fill it to just enough where I know I can make it to the end. Whereas obviously, like we talked about, normally you just fill it to the brim. So it'll be interesting to see what they do here. But yeah, I'll say those earlier pit stops though for Nigel Standish and Jose Gonzalez are definitely kind of hurting them right now, as you got Chad Coleman, Chad Cole working their way by, as well as Doy Woods there following them through. So they made some really good gains after that kind of that early incident, and say they've done a really good job of crawling through the field right now.
Yeah, it did. Doy Woods looking pretty good, and Chad Cole, spoke with him earlier on in the race, and he was back in like 26th position or so, 22nd, 20-something position back there. Said, man, he got a little bit of damage, had to go through the grass. Car looks pretty good, not too bad. Right now in top 10.
Yes, it's sitting right there in that 10th position. So they've still got a few more cars, obviously, that they can catch. They've got fresher tires than Nelson Rivera. However, they've got, as well as Justin Fuller, but they've got about 5 seconds or so to get to those guys. So still a ways to go there. And yeah, looking up front though, actually Comstock's able to get by DeBarro here for the second position. So not sure, maybe DeBarro's just cars and doing what he wants it to do. Yeah, it looked like he got really loose off 4 that last time. But yeah, so right now, still Adam Gillen just putting on a clinic right now with these guys after that pit stop. So look at the lap times, and now actually they're really even right now. They're all running about 40.0s.
And that's the thing. The lap times are pretty close amongst. Obviously, the green flag stops split up the whole field. That's just something that green flags do. But it's almost like what we saw earlier in the race. The lap times are there, but everybody, man, right now just spread out throughout the field. And, I know somebody's out there probably going, I think Adam right now is probably saying, can we go green all the way? Probably somebody else out here, a couple other guys going, can we get a caution?
Yeah, I'd say probably one of those things, like about the top 3 are really content with things right now. And then, because they're all right now in a really good spot. But yeah, I'd say probably from 4th on back, they're like, I wouldn't mind getting things a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, because Nick right now is about 3.2, well, excuse me, he's 5.8 seconds from the leader. 6 seconds Daniel Falkenham is from the leader right there. They're kind of nose to tail with one another. And that's, like you said, that's 4th and 5th place respectively. Justin Fuller, he's about 7. And you got Nelson Rivera right there, he's 7.6. And then you got Chad Coleman back in 8, 11 seconds back. So you can just kind of tell how it gets spread out.
Yeah, I think this is where we talk about the teamwork. Maybe not teamwork per se, but just the drafting in general. So I think you'll see like Chad Coleman, as well as Doy Woods, if they can kind of stay in line, work together, try to push each other a little bit further in the straights. Just try to close that gap down a little bit faster if they can, to like Nelson Rivera and Justin Fuller and company.
I tell you, I joked about it before the race. I was talking to Chad Cole there in the 82, and I said, man, I see you in a Transervice Mustang. Well, guess what? There's a Transervice Camaro. So you got Mustang, Camaro versus each other, but 2 Transervice title sponsor machines out there. And I asked him, I said, can you beat that Camaro tonight? And he goes, well, I'm going to try, but I don't know. He's pretty good.
Yeah, saying they also have got the number 44 of Glenn Campbell, saying he's running the Toyota, so they've got the fields covered. They're not playing favorites here. I say that's a good thing to do with a title sponsor. You want to make sure you're spreading the love evenly. So I say they do a really good job with this series.
What is even more funnier? It's Chad and Chad Coleman and Chad Cole. And a lot of times when I see them real quick, I gotta get them, right there. But I tell you what, look at them. They're battling with each other.
Yeah, so they just both got really loose there. Yeah, I kind of always tease them where, because it's like they got the same name except for that last little part. And so you need to find one more Chad there and maybe see if you can get them in that Toyota too. That way you have the 3 Chads with the Transervice Cup Series sponsorship.
Absolutely. Right now, very good battle going on, and that's for 8th and 9th. Those two's just trying to hang on to the machines. Doy Woods right there behind them. Count him out. He's in the mix there. And we just saw both of those guys get a little bit squirrely off the turn. That actually let Doy, climb back up there just a little bit. I said it earlier, momentum plays a huge factor at this track.
It really does, and I was saying there's a little bit of a battle going on right there with Nelson Rivera and Justin Fuller. Rivera able to sneak by there for the sixth position. I'm sorry. So I think that little battle is actually, looks like it's let Cole and Coleman and them catch up just probably about a second or so. It looked like that last time. So looks like they're about a half a second quicker than those guys that last lap. So if they can get to that draft, I say that's going to pull them even quicker.
You know, we used to think that this place, draft does play a factor here, don't get me wrong. I mean, because, speeds here used to be so high. It still plays a huge factor, but we're not seeing a lot of these guys gain because we're seeing the lap times so close. I mean, you got to look. Adam just did a 40.6, and everyone else behind him are in the 40s. We're not even talking about, you've got to go all the way to 21st before you even drop out of the 40s. So a 40.6, 40.5, all the way to a 40.8. That's not even a second lap time between those top 20.
Yeah, and then when you spread out like this, it's so hard to make that ground back up. And I'm just looking, like the gaps are staying really even. It's about 2.5 seconds from first to second, still about that half second to third with DeBarro. I think Nick Silver's actually been putting in some pretty good laps here, trying to make some time up on the leaders. And I'm saying he's got obviously Falkenham kind of breathing down his neck as well, just about, looks like, about a second behind him, half second. Yeah, so they're all spread out really, really evenly right now. But yeah, right now it looks like the group right now I'm watching, I think it's going to be the 20 to 82 and the 07. I think if they can keep working together like they have been, I think it's been a really good plan. That'll help them kind of, instead of fighting with each other, that'll help pull them up to those other guys a little bit.
I already see him just getting a little loose right there, too.
Yeah. And this is also going to be where the pit strategy comes in. It's just like, they can make it from here and feel if they pit it again, they can make it. But now it's kind of that, when do you blink? Do you risk staying, or do you risk catching a yellow at a bad time, or things like that? I kind of usually stay out too long just because I'm always afraid to get caught by the yellow personally.
Yep. Now, next question. We'll throw this into the mix here, too. We know everybody's really tough to pass with the lap times like they are and try to make it. Nobody's kind of blasting through the field here. Who's going to be the one to try 2 tires?
I don't think you're going to see 2 tires. I think the only thing you'll see is probably, like I said, just probably short filling. And that was where I actually thought somebody might try pitting a little early, just that way you don't have to wait for any extra time for fuel. But at the same time, you can just tell the crew, hey, you only put 5 gallons in instead of 12 or whatever the number is going to be. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think you're going to see 4 tires all the way around, just because if they're this loose now, I'd be afraid to see what they do with 2.
Oh, absolutely. Well, unfortunately, we got about 4 machines out of the race. Steve Herring, Chris Jabu, Steve Ritter, and Dwayne Vincent all out of the race. Still got 35 machines out here running, so really good field right now. Only had 1 caution here tonight. Knock on wood. It's been a very good race so far. This is a huge track. You got a lot of space. Problem is, these guys have got their hands full with these machines.
Yeah, it doesn't, and that's the thing, is they're so spread out right now. Honestly, it could be anybody have a little hiccup, and that can bring the yellow out and just bunch all these guys back up for craziness. So I'm not rooting for it by any means. I'd say I apologize if I wind up jinxing things. As I said, that Chad Cole's able to sneak by Chad Coleman there for the 8th position. So he's able to, it looks like his tires might be a little, as I said, the EJ's really loose off the floor, able to hang on to it.
Is.
I think he's going for an impromptu pit stop if he can get it settled down there. There he goes.
Wow. Well, that is a good battle between Chad Cole and Chad Coleman right there. I think maybe they, they've been working together pretty good, with each other. Joey Woods back there, though, he's got Sean Castro has actually caught up to him. So he's coming up here in this mix.
Oh, yeah, Sean Castro's made a really good run. And saying he's on the same tires as those guys right in front of him, so he's done a really good job catching that field. So, yeah, he's going to have a few spots he can try to pick off here. Trying to take a look. Fuller's still got a pretty big gap on Chad Cole on back. But I say pit stops have definitely started for some of the cycles for those that pitted earlier. Jose Gonzalez was one. I believe also I saw, Nigel Standish is also pitted. Joey Woods is actually in the pits as well, and he was a little bit further up. So I think this is where you're going to see that short pitting, try to gain a little bit of track position. So that puts him about, what, 35 laps to the end on tires, which obviously is definitely doable.
Absolutely. Watching these lap times right now, they're kind of all over the place. Actually, Sean right there, lap before was pretty fast, and Elson the fastest out there right now.
Yeah, say they're in the 40s still. Let's say Adam's still, I don't know what he's doing, but say he's still running 40.4s, or it looks like the guys around him are in the 40.8s, 40.9s now. Although I just noticed DeBarro got by Comstock as well while I was watching all this other stuff. So Nick Silver ran a 40.3, so he's still making really good time there as well. So I'm trying to see how far back he is from them. About second and a half from DeBarro and Comstock. It's definitely doable.
Right now, man, Adam's still out front leading this one by 4.2. He is actually walking away from him up front there with Anthony DeBarro. It has been a very good one here so far. Michigan International Speedway. I hope everybody is enjoying the race as much as I'm enjoying it right now. Let's tell you what, we'll step away. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
How? By making our word our bond and delivering the most responsive service and transparent financial details to give our clients the best all-around value in the industry. By not providing cookie-cutter, one-size-fits-all, off-the-shelf solutions. Instead, crafting tailored, customer-centric solutions for each client's individualized business model and needs. By empowering highly ethical, dedicated associates to build true partnerships and mutually beneficial relationships with our accounts. And by cultivating long-term, loyal customers and vendors through each and every one of these guiding principles. And maintaining those relationships with transparent, quality operations. That's why Transervice has been successful for 50 years. And that's how we'll continue to grow and flourish long into the future. Let us show you why many of our clients have been with us for over 20 years. It's all about the experience, yours and ours.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
All right, we're back here live at Michigan International Speedway, and still a very good race going on here. Some green flag stops, some pit strategies playing in here, and I know me and Gail here was sitting and talking about it. I hope you've enjoyed it. Right now, Adam Gillian is the man out front and leading this one. Anthony Navarro in second. You've got David Comstock in the third, Nick Silver the fourth, and Daniel Falkenham up the fifth. So everybody right now there, Gail, kind of pacing themselves. We're trying to sit up here and guess when these guys are going to pit. We know they have to. It's all a matter of when.
Yeah, I'd say a few of them are going with my plan. I'd say Fuller, Rivera, and Castro, they all just jumped into pits right now, about that 30 laps to go mark or so. I was thinking they might, I think Leader might be coming in as well right now.
He is on pit road. You know, I told during the break we were talking there, and I said maybe lap 75 or 80. He's coming in a little bit earlier, which obviously, you know, that's only 29, 28 laps. We've seen these guys go as far as 43. I think this is the money stop here, though. I mean, you've got to have everything perfect.
Yeah, so he's got to hope it stays green as well. I actually saw some tire smoke in front of him when he was entering the pit, so I wonder if that gave him some second thoughts there. Looked like a really clean stop as they hit his marks really well. Looks like it was a little slow to stop.
15 second, I'm showing 15, but yeah, you're right, a little Now I'm just wondering that, Anthony didn't come in that time, but at some point, that's going to have to play into the hand here of Anthony DeBarro, or he's, because the more he stays out, or the longer he stays out, he's going to have to think about, we said it, 2-tire or something wild on pit road.
Yeah, I mean, this might be a strategy thing where it's like, if I do the exact same thing as Adam, I'm not going to be able to beat him. So maybe I try staying out late and we get a timely caution, pins him a lap down, or get a kind of a quick caution after I pit. He needs to pit for tires, and then I can stay out. So there's a lot of potential. As I say, a lot of it's going to depend on yellows, of course. And I'm saying there's a good chance of it because you got a lot of cars on new tires versus old tires. As I say that, the 43 is getting really loose. Off-4, it looks like he's able to hang on to it as he enters the pits.
David Comstock on pit road also. Tell you, Anthony's still out there, and this is what we call strategy here, because it's going to be 25 to go. And obviously, we take in consideration if green, white, checkered was to fly at the end of it. Got to look into that too.
Yeah,
here comes Anthony now.
Out, though? Oh, is he in right now? Okay, I say I'm looking at, so Silver and Fockingham are still running at the moment. It looks like it looks like Silver might have followed him in there as well.
Let's just see. Adam right now is coming down the back stretch at this moment. Anthony's going to be on pit road. Still has yet to make his pit box. Well, Adam's going to take the lead back.
Oh, yeah, no, and I think he's going to extend it too, I would say. We think it was about, 5 seconds before the pit stops? Yep. I wouldn't be surprised if it's, 8 to 10 at this point, because I think he's about to go by him right there. Yeah, so he hasn't even left there. He goes leaving his pit stall now, so, yeah, he's going to have a big gap right now. So at this point, he's just going to root for it to go green. I think I personally would have done, actually, I got to see if Daniel Fockingham has still stayed out or if he's in the pits or not yet. Kind of looks like he might be pitting.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, he's on pit road right now.
Yeah, yes, he is. Yeah, I think I would have played a different strategy just because, again, I had no chance to win otherwise, so I don't know. I kind of would have waited to stay out as long as I possibly could. Hope for maybe either a quick yellow or a yellow during the caution itself, just to try to see if then you stay out while everybody else needs to pit. But I mean, these guys win a lot more than I do, so I can't be one to be a backseat crew chief at this point.
Yeah, I'm with you. I tell you, it's a gamble, especially with the way the cars have been handling, and whatnot. We know how far they can go, but do you want to push it that far? Giving up so much on the track and so much time-wise, but again, you got to do something. I mean, right now, I feel like, and I'm not a person to always like give away or say, oh yeah, that guy's going to win. Adam right now is in the catbird seat. As long as you don't make a mistake. I think, Justin, Nelson, and Anthony, David, all those guys, they're probably right now going, we need a caution.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to take a look. Yeah, Fuller and Rivera, actually, whatever their pit strategy was, they did a really good job there because, they're in second and third, and their tires are not that much older than the leaders of those around them, so they made a huge benefit there with that pit cycling out right now in second and third.
And I'm watching, you can just see right there Nelson running behind Justin, benefiting from the draft. You can see his last lap times right there. Those two actually putting out some pretty good lap times. So it's not that far off from what David is doing. David on a little bit newer tires, Anthony on a little newer tires. But, yeah, you're right. Justin Fuller, Nelson Rivera. Remember Justin earlier in the race, lost it, got marred back in traffic, had to hang on to that thing. But, he started pretty good tonight.
Yeah, that's a really good recovery for him. Like you said, he fell back after that moment he had off of, I think it was turn 2, kind of had to regain position and get back into it. So yeah, I think they timed their pit stops really well, and they probably just had a really good pit entry and exit as well to gain the time that they did, because they weren't too far ahead of Chad Cole and Chad Coleman, as well as I believe Sean Casto, and now they got about, looks like a 10-second gap on those guys. So yeah, that's a really good job by them.
So far so good, as Adam Gillian's out front running this one. Justin Fuller there in second. Nelson Rivera in third. David Comstock up to fourth. Anthony Navarro in fifth. Everybody kind of running. Well, it's... Excuse me, folks. I'm yawning.
Adam's on a Monday evening drive at this point. He's got about a 8.5, 9 second lead over second place. It's actually a really good battle, though, from second on to fifth. They're all right there within about a second of each other. So, I mean, that's a good group right there to keep an eye on as they go 3 wide there in the tri-oval.
Wow. Yeah, with a lot of you got some lap down machines out there, guys on older tires, guys on newer tires, a lot of different pit strategies happening. But you do see Justin Fuller and Nelson kind of closing in, but see David Comstock right on the back bumper of Justin Fuller trying to take that second place spot. Here comes Adam.
Yeah, saying here comes DeBarro as well, working on underneath Rivera. Looks like he'll be able to clear him off of 4. Yeah, he will. So I think that now Comstock's not going to waste any time now that he's got DeBarro right there behind him. So he's going to try to make time where he can as well and make sure he doesn't get held up as well. So he's able to sneak by. Oh, right between Fuller and the 24 car there, and here comes DeBarro off of 2, trying to try to follow through. Looks like he should be able to clear him as well. So yeah, so they put them back up to second and third, kind of where they've been most of the evening.
I tell you, watching ride along here with Anthony DeBarro, and, was watching Adam earlier in the race, but man, right now Anthony is so smooth with that car, but that just shows you the difference of how this car handles on old tires as opposed to new tires.
Yeah, and there might be a little bit of a setup difference as well. Like you can obviously change the steering ratios and offsets and such. So it's possible. I wonder if Adam's running maybe a lower steering ratio, or it's really responsive, but it's a little twitchy. Whereas for me, I'd probably be running a higher ratio just to kind of give that little bit extra smoothness, just because we've seen some of the catches these guys made. I don't think I'd be fast enough to do it with that lower ratio.
I'm old. My reflexes are a lot slower.
I'm just not as good as these guys. I don't have that excuse yet.
I hear that. Well, Anthony DeBarro just made the pass over David Comstock and took over the second place spot. So that puts David back to third. Adam right now still has a 7.9 second lead, and like you said, he's on a cruise control right now. We got about 17 to go in this one here at Michigan.
Yeah, so the other one I want to keep an eye on is Nick Silver. He pitted at the same time as DeBarro. So he's got about 2 to 3 seconds to catch those guys again. But towards the end of that run, though, he was making some pretty good time on them. So he might be one as well to keep an eye on to see if maybe he can sneak his way into that podium position.
Well, right now, like you said, he's sitting in 7th. Daniel Falkingham has dropped all the way to 6th. I don't know if he's right there in front of him. We'll see if he's able to maybe get around him. See Glenn Campbell right there behind him. Unfortunately, he's lapped down back in 20th there. But maybe we'll help him, as far as draft-wise goes. And Nelson and all them guys are there. So Nick is close to him. We could have some position battles there soon.
Yeah, I think so. So it's about a 5-lap difference on tires between Daniel Falkingham as well as Nelson Rivera. As I say that, you got Daniel taking a look inside of the 22 there as he splits the 6 and the 22, entering 3 and 4.
That's going to help Nick right there, too. They stay side by side. It's going to let him close in the gap some.
Yeah, so Nelson's going to try to grab that draft as quick as he can, but say look at Nick, he's going to take that top side away from the 22, and he'll probably get the momentum on the exit there and try to clear him off of 2 here.
And he's got help by Glenn Campbell right there to give him a little push, and he does. As you just see, Nelson has to just give up pace on the low line coming out of turn. All about that momentum coming down the back stretch. As Nick Silver moves up to 6th, now he's going to try to work and see if he can't run down Daniel Falkingham. Justin Fuller stays into 4th. David Comstock up to 3rd. Anthony DeBarro in 2nd. Adam Gillian still leading this one here tonight.
Yeah, so it's obviously still a long ways to go. So they got 15 more laps. Something's going to need to happen for DeBarro to have a chance. I mean, he's been running good lap times, about 2 to 3 tenths quicker, it seems like, the last few laps with those slightly fresher tires. But just that gap that he's got, that's going to be too much to overcome without any assistance there. But as we talked about earlier, though, here comes Falkingham making a run on the inside of the 51 of Justin Fuller. And then, I think Nick Silver's going to try to join in on that one as well. With saying Glenn Campbell's he's a lap down, but he's got fresher tires than these guys. And just, I mean, I think he just didn't have that track position to start off with, so he's making a good run as well. I mean, he's got to try to get as much as he can as well, because there's more positions for him to gain as well.
Absolutely. You got to go further on back there to 8th place spot. Chad Cole still hanging on to it. I mean, I got a feeling if Chad finishes here in the top 10, he's going to think that's a win for him, because he was marred back in 20-some position when we talked to him earlier in the race. Said that not very good with this package, didn't feel very good in practice with it. Right now in top 10, that definitely changed your mind.
Yeah, so I might have to take a look in the replay here. It looked like a little moment there between the 51 and the 15. Oh, never mind. Just a little bit of a bump draft on the backstretch. Almost hooked him a little bit. He was able to hang on to it. But say now they're got 15 looking to the top side though, down the start finish here.
And that we were just talking about Nick Silver. How fast is he? He's so far. He's coming through the field. And you look there. Number 15, Nick Silver. He's got a little newer tires there in Justin Foley.
Yeah, so he's just got to try to see if he can use that momentum here, steal a little bit of that draft from the 93 car as well. Yeah, able to complete that pass. That'll put him up into the 5th position. Looks like he's still only about half a second or so behind Daniel Fockingham. Yeah, he's right there within distance. Oh, really close call right there with Fockingham and Shane Ewing. That was...
Saw that.
Oh, man.
That's what you don't want to see up there, front runners. Nick Silver, the man on the move right now, though. He's looking very good. Daniel Fockingham, though, been able to move up pretty good. He's actually running down. Looks like David Comstock's a little bit in front of him there, but keeps up his pace. He might be able to get close to him because we got about 10 to go.
Yeah, so it's about, second and a half or so. I mean, it's definitely something doable. And they've got we got a couple lap fresher tires, so I mean that little bit's always worth something. So, and we don't know how hard David was running as well. So, you can never tell with these guys what they're able to hang on to, what they're able to save. I think
Absolutely.
Justin Fuller may have had a moment there off. Yeah, I say Justin Fuller just had a moment off before, able to hang on to it though, which I'm sure his teammate Adam Gillen is very pleased about, because that would have brought out a caution if it hooked back to the right.
Yeah, watching him right there. Whew, good driving job right there. Watch the replay on it. Wow. He was able to hold on to that thing.
Yeah, saying Glenn Campbell's working his way. I say he had those newer tires, and say, he's getting really loose in 3 and 4 right there. Oh, he's able to hang on to it as well. Oh, man.
A lot of guys starting to get loose right now. You see Nick Silver trying to close in on Daniel Fockingham. He might be able to use the draft to some of these other cars, but it'll be a close one.
Yeah, I was going to mention that Glenn Campbell with those newer tires, he was around 20th or so just a few laps ago, and he's been kind of picking his way through them, so he's going to have to regain a little bit of time there, unfortunately, because I say he was about to work on the 4 car there for the 16th position, so hopefully he can regroup and make another run at it.
He's up to 18th right now, and the first car lap down, obviously the 07 there, Joey Woods, in the 14th place spot. So we got 13 machines on the lead lap because of this man out here. He's putting a blistering pace on the track. Adam Gillian right now out front leading this thing, and has had a very, very comfortable lead all race long. Got 8 to go here tonight. I know at this point he's yelling, please just go green flag, because, man, I tell you, caution flies. That puts a bunch of hungry guys behind him.
Yeah, but I say he's definitely not having that easy Monday night drive that I joked about, because I was just watching him right there in 3 and 4, and he's still having to chase it a little bit. I say he's got a lot of wheel input into it, just trying to keep it from kind of trying to loop around on him. So, say there's a reason why he's got that gap right now. He's still putting some lap times down. He's driving as hard as he can still.
Watching his wheel right now, you were watching it earlier, riding along the inside. He is a lot of times we talk about smoothness, and we saw Anthony earlier how smooth he was. Seeing him, man, right now having to saw just a little bit on that wheel to hold on to it, and right there coming out of turn 4, chase it up the track, and you just see his hands working that wheel.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's the thing is he's been doing that, and I mean it's working for him. Obviously, he's been really fast, but I'm sure. Well, I probably wouldn't be able to catch that car like he's doing, but I mean, oh man, I would guess his arms are going to be pretty tired after this one.
what's that old saying in the movie they had back there? Loose is fast, but it'll send you out of control every time. Well, right now, you know, he's right there on the danger line, and it's every time he comes out of the turn, we think, man, he's going to crash, but he's able to hold on to it.
Nah, so we mentioned earlier, he's got the 6 wins. They'll say there's a reason for it. So he knows how to run that kind of that fine line between where he needs to be. But so I'm trying to take a look here. Yeah, I say we might have a challenge here for that podium spot. Say Daniel Falkingham is starting to catch not Adam Gill. I'm sorry, his teammate. David Comstock, and actually Nick Silver's right on them as well. So we got a really good 3-car battle here brewing for the 3rd position.
Yes, we do, and it's anybody's ball game between those two right there. David's hanging on to the 3rd. Daniel's got the 4th, but Nick Silver wants the 4th place spot. He's got a fast machine. We'll have to see what happens as we're going to have 5 to go when they cross the line.
Yeah, we talked about the parity of manufacturers. If Nick can get by there, you'd have a Toyota or a Chevy, a Toyota, and a Ford in the top 3. So we'll see if he can make it happen.
Absolutely. Nick right now looking very good. Riding tailgate there of Daniel Falkingham as he's able to close in on him. About looks like about a lap difference between their tires, and about maybe another lap or 2 difference between David's tires. So everybody kind of close right there, proximity, but I'm looking at lap times, and you know they're actually about a 10th faster than David Comstock right now.
Yeah, I was looking at the same thing. He ran a 45 to their 28 and 25. So yeah, they're putting out. I think what's happening right now is I think Nick Silver's trying to help Daniel get to David, and then of course once the time comes, all bets are off at that point. But at this point, he's going to try to get him to him. And then maybe while they kind of fight each other, he can try to sneak on by both of them, kind of get a 2-for-1 deal.
Yeah, if we were talking about these cars being tight earlier on, maybe that tight, loose feeling, right now I think Daniel Falkingham has got to the point where there's not a lot he can do. Maybe the aero on these cars, and yes, folks, that does play a factor here on iRacing, the way they have them set up, that the aero in the car could make his car tight the closer he gets there to David.
Yeah, saying looked like Nick he's like, I might be done following you, so I don't know if you're going to catch him in time. So he made a move in entering 3, couldn't quite get there, but he's going to have to regroup here and try to gain some of that track position he lost there. Looks like he's going to try to take a little bit of a wider entry here into 1 and 2.
And the reason I bring that up is because it looks like Daniel's kind of hit a wall right there. We've seen that in racing before. Guys hit a wall, and right now Daniel Falkingham trying to do everything he can to run down David Comstock, but he's trying to hold off Nick Silver also.
Yeah, I think Daniel's kind of, between a rock and a hard place. I'm sure he'd love to try a different line to see if he can make something happen, but if he does that, he's going to leave himself vulnerable to an attack from Nick, who's just all over the back of him right now. So we got 2 to go right now.
You just saw Daniel right there chase that car up coming out of turn 4, way up there. So that just shows you how much they are pushing. Nick's going to try a higher line to see if he can't get a run off of 2. Maybe get some momentum coming down the back stretch, because I think that's what he's going to need.
Yeah, I think he's going to need to get some momentum and maybe a little bit of luck with the mistake. I'll say while they're doing that, though, say Adam Gillens here is about to take the white flag to put the. I was saying that's what he was waiting to see, is get that white flag right here, so he can just hopefully now just kind of put it away.
Yes, absolutely. 6.8 seconds of white flag. This time by for the final time, and man, the battle's heating up for 3rd. Here comes Daniel Falkingham to the inside in turn 2 off of it. They're going to battle coming down the back stretch.
Yeah, so he really sends it down in there. It looks like he's able to get his stick pretty well. Now we're going to have to see what the plan is for Nick Silver. Oh, he's going to try to squeeze him. Oh, man, that was really close there. So say Daniel's going to have to really send it deep into 3 here, see if he can make it stick. And I think Nick Silver's going to try to cut under them, but we'll see who's able to get the power down the best right now. Looks like they're all squirrely off of 4. David,
good battle right there.
David's going to be able to hang on to him. Now it's going to be between 4th place, I think.
Nick Silver.
Nick Silver able to sneak that 4th place away. So
and I'm going to
really
tell you what,
run.
let's go back, because we watched Adam come across the line there, but out of turn 4, let's watch this pass one more time. Nick Silver, he just hung that thing out to dry, went up high right there, and there was a drag race to the end. He was able to hang on and take 4th place. Man, what a finish there to this one here tonight. But I tell you, 7-time winner here, that man Adam Gillian, he left nothing on the table tonight. He put it up there.
Yeah, I'll say he was with that pack the whole time, and then just after that pit stop, he was able to get that gap that he needed, and from there he just set sail. So he did a really good job. I'll say obviously had a really good pit entry exit, able to pull away. And saying I have to give a huge shout out to the drivers here. I mean, we were talking about this is going to probably be a caution fest, just how loose it is and everything like that. But I mean, they were on it tonight, so really good job by all the drivers. Had a lot of good saves there as Adam Gillen does his celebratory burnouts here on the front stretch.
Let's bring up, man, some of these guys. We'll get a word with them. David Comstock have another outstanding finish here tonight. Coming up here right there in 3rd place. He had a good finish last week at Watkins Glen in the top. Then coming to 2nd place. We're looking for Anthony DeBarro here, bringing him up. Word with him. All right, well, I'll tell you what, let's bring up this man, David Comstock, let you get a word in with him 3rd place man tonight.
Sounds good, yeah. So caught up here with David Comstock, a really good run there. So it kind of looks like things kind of spread out there after that first couple pit stops there. That was a hell of a battle, though, between you and DeBarro, or not, sorry, DeBarro, you and Nick Silver and Daniel Fockingham those last couple laps there. Take us through it.
Yeah, the race, we had a yellow early, and then it was just all green flag from there. So we just got beat on strategy and outright speed. We just didn't have what it took to keep up with Adam there. So congrats to him on the win, and just trying to scrap for what we could. I think 2nd was in reach, but I made the bad choice of going in, trying to undercut on Anthony, and the fresher tires prevailed. So I should have waited a little bit longer and seen who was going to flinch between the two of us and all of us around, just because Adam was so far checked out. It was no chance for us to really get to him. So it was just the battle for 2nd there. And then just coming down to the end, we had some lappers that kept me with some draft while the guys were drafting off of me, so they couldn't really catch me as quickly as what they were probably anticipating, to make it a little bit longer of a battle than just that last lap. But going into one there, I want to just make sure that I can try to maybe break some momentum off of them before they go in the corner, and possibly throw a slider on me, and also at the same time protect the outside, because as soon as you got someone on your outside, it's game over. So we'd be able to do at least to keep him on the inside, keep the preferred lane when you're battling, and able to come out with a 3rd here.
Yeah, so it definitely looked like being on the bottom line was kind of really risky, is the best way to put it, where it's just you had to put too much wheel in it, probably, for it to want to snap around on you. Is that what you were feeling?
It was free overall, especially 3 and 4, and we were able to do some things on our end. Even though we have fixed setups, I think take a little bit less fuel, not have as much nose weight, and it'll tighten it up a little bit. So we were able to do that and tinker with that the last couple runs there. But yeah, when you're on the bottom, you're dictated by the guy on your outside. When they're tracking out, you can't go and slide up to the wall all the way like they can. And you have to wait a little bit longer to open the wheel up, so you're putting some input into it, and it causes it to kind of get a little bit of like a push-loose scenario. So yeah, it's definitely tougher to try to roll the bottom, but if you're able to make it work and stay side by side and make passes like Adam was able to for the lead there, and that sealed him the victory. So if you're able to do it, more power to you.
Yeah, so I mean, it looks like, I'll say we're still waiting for the official results, but you're in the 4th place for the Dash for Cash standings entering this race. Obviously finishing 3rd. I'm pretty sure you'll be eligible for that one, so you'll have that 3-race shootout here at the end with what was it, Bristol, and I'm trying to remember the other 2 races. So you'll be able to
Indy and Darlington, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. So you'll be able to go for some extra cash, which is always fun to do. But let's say we'll give the official once we get that info from you. But definitely want to give you an opportunity though to give any shoutouts though.
Yeah, everybody at Aftermath Motorsports, thanks to everybody there and all their help and support that we give each other every single week. The admins here at SIM500 for doing all they do to put on the leagues and the races for us that we run on a weekly basis, and Transervice Logistics for sponsoring this series and sponsoring the car, racingbiz.com. if you go onto Facebook and search up Racing Bids, we got live auctions that run Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, as well as mini auctions that get ran all day weekly, Monday through Friday. So go check them out on Facebook as well as online at racingbids.com. New Day Doors, Monster Energy, Gary Mercer Trucking, JD Lair, JD Graphics for Paint My Cars, and all the fans and friends out there, you guys broadcasting, thank you guys.
All right, you have a third place finisher, David Comstock, another good run. Still trying to get that breakthrough win for this season. Or yep,
I got one at Kansas.
Did you? My thing's lying to me then. Oh, I'm looking at the Dash for Cash.
That last Dash for Cash you ran, that's the only one I've got this season that got me the money. So hopefully we're looking to go for win number 2 at the end of it.
Yeah, you're right. I was looking at the wrong standing, so my apologies there, sir. Okay. So going for win number 2, I'd say next year you were second in points there, so able to gain a little bit there on Daniel Fockingham as well. See if you can get that overall the overall points lead points lead before the playoffs begin.
Sounds good.
All right, so that's our third place finisher. Yep, I'll see you next week, David.
All right, like you said, third place man right there. David Comstock, and 2 weeks in a row has had some very good runs. Let's bring up Anthony DeBarro. Get a word with him. Second place man.
User was moved to your channel.
Yeah, caught up here with the second place finisher, Anthony DeBarro. I kind of mentioned the same thing to David. You guys were all right on top of each other there until that first green flag pit stop. And I don't know what Adam was able to do, but anything different you could have done on your end, you felt like?
No, I'm still scratching my head, but I want to say congratulations to everyone in the field. We won one caution, and with how loose that thing was in traffic, constantly changed. We all did a good job getting there to the end. That was a lot of good racing, a lot of give and take. And other than that, I don't know. I'll figure out what I was missing. He was a little better in cleaner air. I think we spread out, but I felt like I had a better car. We were in the pack there, but I was kind of hoping for a caution, then I kind of wasn't, because what could happen if we would have got a caution there.
Yeah, we were talking about that. We're like, we knew obviously Adam wanted it to go green at the end. At one point we're like, yeah, probably the top 3 don't want it. And then as it spread out, it's like, yeah, at this point we're pretty sure it's just Adam that's going to want it to stay green. But yeah, you're right. I mean, you guys had such a good gap though over the rest of the group there. So you're able to get by David after that last pit stop there and make a run for it. I'll say, was there anything that stood out to you though, just the way the cars or track felt tonight?
Actually, dropping a little less fuel out of there. That thing took off like a rocket ship on the last run. I know I made up much time on Adam, but throughout the race, he made up so much time. There was no possible way I was going to even get to him. But overall, great car tonight. I was very impressed with our speed. Hopefully, we'll carry that into Bristol. But we all know what happened there. So
yeah, I'll say if this one was a bit of a crapshoot, I'd say Bristol's obviously won. I'll say it looks like they just updated the regular season point standing, so you bumped up a spot into the 7th position with Mitch Roll missing this one. We're still waiting to get the full updates on the Dash for Cash. Again, we'll be updating. Actually, as I say that, it just updated. So I can congratulate you on being the 3rd place finisher of the Dash for Cash. So you'll be eligible for that starting next week at Bristol. And you'll be joined by Daniel Fockingham, David Comstock, and it looks like Mitch Rollo was just able to still hang on to the 4th position there.
Hey, well, I would say it's my best track to go to, but I always end up getting into some trouble, so we'll see what we can do. Hopefully we qualify up front there and go win that Dash for Cash.
Alright, Sam, before I let you go though, I want to let you give any shout-outs you have.
All the guys on the team, Dizzy, Nick, Look Possible with him, having me come on board last year, and everyone else that wasn't here tonight, but it was just me and Shane and Tim. I hope to see you next week, and we'll go from there.
Alright, so there you have it with our 2nd place finisher, Anthony DeBarro. And I believe our Joe White has caught up with Adam Gilland in victory lane.
Yeah, Adam Gillian, a man putting it on a roll tonight. Adam Gillian, Joe White in the booth. Got a copy?
I got you, Joe.
Man, I tell you what, you had that thing on rails, but it wasn't all roses. You were wheeling that machine, and we were watching it all night long. I mean, was that thing wrecking loose?
Yeah, it was a little on the free side, that's for sure. Had a lot of fun tonight. Finally got us a little bit of a setup that you had to work the throttle rather than just full mash. I really enjoyed that. Like you said, it was a handful, but we were able to keep it pointed in the right direction.
Oh, no doubt. And you was able to good pit strategies and pit stops there. Did you I know you were kind of proud it kind of went green flag. Was that your hoping that it would go green, or maybe some cautions or something like that?
I was hoping it would go green as soon as I lost DeBarro from the draft. That's the biggest thing with this package is if you got a guy within 6-7 tenths behind you, you're just not going to be able to get away. With these straightaways here at Michigan, you're just going to suck right back up to the back bumper. So through getting in pit road a lap after him and having a really good in and out lap, I was able to get that buffer to where I could break the draft. And fortunately, that was the big ticket right there.
Well, win number 7 tonight here. You're dominating the series so far, win-wise, and looking pretty good here. As a couple more races to go before the chase starts. I know your mind's got to be set on the big picture championship. But tonight's winner here at Michigan for the Transervice Cup Series, SIM500, Adam Gillian. You got anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, just got to thank Gary Mercer Trucking, always supporting me on here, iRacing. Obviously, all the admins at SIM500 really shows, with a race like tonight where we only have one caution. It's incredible racing by these guys. Everyone that puts on this broadcast at Sim Racing Network, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I tell you what, Adam, man, appreciate you, man, coming up here. And as always, again, congratulations on that win.
Yes, sir. Take care.
All right, I tell you what, man, as we look here at the unofficial results order here tonight, this was a wild one here as Adam Gillian dominated out front, winning it. Anthony DeBarro up in the second, David Comstock the third, Nick Silver fourth, Daniel Falkenham fifth, Nelson Riera right there in sixth, Justin Fuller seventh, Chad Cole in eighth, Chad Coleman up to ninth, John Castro up in the 10th. Let's look through it. Wow, good race out here there, Gail.
Yeah, no, those guys did a really good job. Like we talked about, I think a lot of people were worried about the cautions, obviously. Just had the one early on, and then from then on, I mean, they went green to the finish, so huge job by them. And I have to clarify myself on the English Auto Dash for Cash for the final 3 races. It's actually going to be, so the winner or the leading into it is going to be Daniel Falkenham, followed by David Comstock. Chad Cole is actually able to make it in as well in the 3rd position, and then 4th will be Anthony DeBarro. So unfortunately with Mitch missing that race, it does not come out of contention for it. But yeah, so you'll have those 4 going after those 3 races to get that extra cash there that English Auto is kind enough to offer for everybody.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, a fantastic race here tonight at Michigan. And, like you said, it's going to be interesting to see who brings home that one and who actually makes it into the chase in the next couple coming weeks here soon as we're getting close to that one. Well, we're going to leave Michigan tonight here for the Transervice Cup Series here presented by SIM500. Hope everyone enjoyed. Everyone, have a good night.